phone's hot though. Ooh. Hey, this is Aganis. I know I'm late, but listen, I was getting my dinner together, so y'all just gonna have to pretend like stream started on time. And in exchange, maybe I'll play something when I'm done eating, but definitely not before because I'm really, really hungry. So yeah. I also need to put something on my TB because, stuff and things. Oh yeah, I forgot. So I made some rice, I made some scammon, and I also got me some sea weevil. So what I was planning on doing was, kind of putting some of it on the sea weevil and eating it. But I don't know if I'm still gonna do it. I probably am, not gonna lie. But I'm just gonna start eating because I'm hungry. I feel like I might still need some salt actually. I probably shouldn't add any more salt because I definitely put salt on the salmon. And just because I can't taste it doesn't mean that it's not in there. Well, that's the funny thing. I want to taste it. That's like the whole point as to why I put it in there. I'm also curious to see if these taste as good as the ones that I got from Trader Joe's. No smell is salty. Let me say the flavor was again. Roasted, seasoned. I don't know if it's seasoned, but okay. Also, hi Yaren. Welcome to the screen. My eye hole.
We like to believe that there's a baseline of human decency holding the world together. An unspoken agreement that at the very least, we don't treat other people as disposable. But every so often, you stumble upon a case that cracks that illusion clean in half. In this episode, we'll be examining a handful of such incidents. The kind that don't just leave you disturbed, but make you question what people are capable of when no one's watching. Or worse, when everyone is. But just before we get into them, I want to show you a few questionable print-offs of my own. This right here is an 11-page report that I pulled from a data broker site, and I've redacted almost every line. Not because it's fake, but because it's my life. Lost addresses, phone numbers, relatives, work history, even details I don't remember giving anyone. And these companies make billions selling this stuff to anyone, with zero concern for who's buying it. It's frustrating.
Still good. Still need more salt though.
Either go completely off the grid, or accept that your privacy is just the price of existing online. And honestly, that shouldn't be the trade-off. Data brokers are betting that you won't take any action, and you'll let them continue their work.
And I'm also gonna need more refreshment.
Or it's just the hard work for you by actively finding data brokers that are selling your personal information and automatically working to remove it and keep it off. mentioned unlike other services, it doesn't just do one thing. You get dark web alerts, real-time fraud monitoring for your bank and credit, 24/7 identity protection, a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and even $5 million in identity theft insurance, with US-based fraud experts available around the clock. I'm not leaving myself vulnerable, and you shouldn't either. Try Aura free for 14 days at aura.com/lazy and let them start scrubbing your information today.
Got me some sweet tea.
In the summer of 2017, just outside Los Baños, California, 18-year-old Julia Sanchez was behind the wheel of a Buick which she had no business driving. She was intoxicated. She was speeding, and while balancing a phone in her hand, she was live streaming. Sitting in the back of the vehicle were Abdul's 14-year-old sister, Jacqueline, and Jacqueline's daughter, Manuela. The trio were heading from Fresno to Stockton. As the car sped along the
So
road,
I'm
Abdul
probably
stared into
mostly
the
just
camera,
gonna be like
laughing, singing,
eating, I
shouting,
guess,
taking her hands off of
and
the wheel.
you know, we can chat and relax
While
and
chatting
whatnot.
with her audience, she lost control of the vehicle. The car veered off Henry
And
Road,
or
smashed
you know.
through a barbed wire fence, and rolled violently at least 2 times. As Obdulia came to her senses in the wreckage, she realized neither Jacqueline nor Manuela were still in the back. Both passengers had been ejected through the rear window of the vehicle as it flipped, and they hadn't been wearing their seatbelts. But what made this case explode across the internet wasn't just the crash. It was what came after, because the live stream didn't stop.
Hey, everybody, if I go to fucking jail for life, you already know why. My sister is fucking dying. This is the last thing I wanted to happen, okay? Alright? I don't care though. I'ma hold it down. I love you. Rest in peace, sweetie. If you don't survive, baby, I'm so sorry.
Wow.
In the immediate aftermath, Obdulia continued filming. She approached her sister, Jacqueline, who was laying motionless on the ground with a cracked skull and exposed brain, and pointed the camera of her phone right into her face as she lay dying for all of her viewers to see, going so far as to show her gaping wound in close-up detail. At last, she called for help, but didn't give the operator clear directions to their location.
Hello? You have an emergency? Hello? Can you come pick up my sister? Good. Wake the up. Wake up. Okay, listen to me. I need to know what you see around you so that way I can send someone out to help you. So with your eyes, go ahead. What do you see? Hello? Ma'am, did you just call 911 about an accident? Where? What do you mean where? Where are you? I don't care where I'm at. Well, then how do you expect me to find you? I don't know. You're the government. You should know how to find me.
Thankfully, witnesses near the scene also called for assistance and were able to direct first responders to the crash site. By the time the police and paramedics arrived, Jacqueline was already dead. Manuel was taken to the hospital with severe leg injuries. Officers immediately handcuffed Obdulia, who was behaving extremely erratically, swearing and shoving, asking why the responders took so long to arrive, describing her sister as an effing toe tag, and announcing, "My parents are gonna kill me." She aggressively refused to take a breathalyzer test, spat at responders, and kicked an EMT in the face. Ultimately, she had to be restrained. She was charged with gross vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated, as well as child endangerment. Though only a handful of people were watching the situation unfold live on Instagram, millions witnessed the moments secondhand, and the livestream would be used as evidence in Obdulia's trial. She justified her actions by stating, "I knew I had more than 5,000 followers. Live streaming Jacqueline's body was the only way my sister would get a decent burial. I would never expose my sister like that. I anticipated the public donating money because my family isn't rich." Prosecutors argued that Obdulia's actions didn't stem from generosity, though, but rather from main character syndrome, and a warped sense that views were worth more than her own Obedulia's sister's life.
That's crazy.
Indeed, in an earlier live stream, filmed shortly before the crash, while both sisters were en route to Preston to pick up Manuela, Jacqueline could be heard telling Obedulia, ultimately, Obedulia pleaded no contest to the charges. She was sentenced to 6 years in prison, but was released on parole after serving just 26 months. To many, the young woman.
So you're intoxicated, operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated, and you also probably killed 2 people. And you get, not only that, you were also on your phone while driving. And you get 6 years. 6 years in prison. And you at least absolutely killed 1 person. 6 years.
She
Okay.
wasn't just a reckless driver who clearly showed little remorse. She was the embodiment of social media addiction. A person who saw everything, even her own sister's last breaths, as content. In later interviews, Obedulia herself even described live streaming as a reflex. It seems that in that terrible moment, her sisterly instincts were overpowered by a new prime directive: to farm engagement. Obedulia's uncle, Jose, was heartbroken when he heard about the incident, but he wasn't surprised. As he would later say in an interview, Obedulia did a lot of bad things. Too bad. I can't even talk about it. I told my brother when she was around 12 that Obedulia was heading down a dangerous path, and that they needed to do something. She's dead to me now. If she dies tomorrow, I don't care. She's a very bad person. Less than a month after her early release, Obedulia was again behind bars after leading police on a high-speed chase that resulted in yet another crash. While searching that vehicle, officers found a loaded gun. What Obedulia planned to do with it remains unclear. Whatever the case, by 2022, she was a...
So you get out of jail early for murdering your sister while driving intoxicated, and then you immediately get into another car crash while intoxicated, and you have a gun in the car. Wow.
free woman yet again, and made her return to social media. Either due to a lack of remorse, a lack of self-awareness,
Niggas don't
or
care.
a combination of both. She posted content of herself drinking in vehicles, showing her dream cars, and joking about her dark side. During several live streams, she reportedly made light of her sister's death. She also left posts challenging those who ran mouth about her DUI to drop a pin. It's clear that Obedulia didn't have any fears about confrontation, but unfortunately for her, it seems it wasn't long before she antagonized the wrong person. In December 2025, Obedulia Sanchez was killed in a drive-by shooting in Stockton. She was found with gunshot wounds on a residential street. Another person was also injured in the incident, but authorities have yet to release details about a suspect.
That's
Who
crazy.
knows, or whether the incident had any connection
I
with
don't
the
want to
death
say you
of the
deserved
woman.
it, but
Some people online called her death karma. Others expressed condolences to her parents, who
yeah.
had now lost 2 of their daughters. But this was
Yeah, it's
and
it.
nobody
Karma.
was quoted as saying the victim was a well-behaved person. with no
Definitely says
justice
karma.
behind it.
Definitely say it's karma.
Most of us have someone we love who's getting on a bit. Someone older, someone fragile. And we'd like to think if they were ever in need of help, that strangers would treat them with the same humanity, dignity, and care that we do. But sometimes, people can be dangerously disappointing. Carmen Delgado Pinto was born in Peru in March of 1933 and spent most of his life working the land. Those who knew him described him the same way: a gentle, friendly, devoted family man. Vernon loved fishing by the coast, but longboards
These
were
aren't
his favorite
bad.
pastime. He'd spend hours rambling
They're
all
not
over the place,
as like
and no matter how far he
flavorful
ventured,
as the ones
he
I
never had
got
any
from
trouble
Trader
finding his
Joe's,
way home. By 2011,
but
Vermon's daughters and granddaughters had settled in Chile, and he decided
But
to follow, moving into their
they're
home
not as
in January.
oily either.
By then in his late
You probably
70s,
can't even
he still
see
insisted on
how
living
shiny
an
my
independent
fingers are.
life. He was
But
still on a bit, yes.
the sea weevil that I got from Trader Joe's, super
Showed
oily,
no signs of dementia.
which isn't a bad thing because that just means that it's actually like properly
He was sharp,
coated with like the
lucid,
sesame oil, I
and
guess.
self-sufficient. And he would remain
But like, oh my gosh, handling that while trying to like fill it up with stuff,
in
I have
March
oil
2018,
all over my
one of
hand.
Vermon's
Like,
daughters, Lily, celebrated
I'm
her
only using
25th
about like
wedding
3
anniversary.
fingers to hold it when I'm like putting
As
my
a
stuff
surprise
in,
present, her husband had secretly
and I can
organised
just
a
wah,
trip
wah,
back to
wah,
London to visit family members.
and like, you know, I'm good.
Vernon found out about the trip and insisted on coming
But
along.
sheesh.
He wanted to see his relatives back in Peru again.
Hmm.
Who knows, he thought. It might be his last opportunity. Of course, Lily's own flights were already booked. by the
Tomorrow's
time he came back,
Wednesday,
so
bro.
Vernon had to purchase his tickets separately at the
It's
last
about to be the
minute.
middle of the week.
He was able to book a seat on the same plane as his daughter for the outbound flight to Lima, but worryingly, would have to catch a
And I
different plane
feel
on the way back.
like there might be slightly less
Vernon may have been capable for
wrappers
about 85
in
years,
each
but he
thing.
was still that.
But this is just the
Vernon
first one I
smiled.
opened, so.
Lily knew that solo travel could be stressful at the best of times, and she was concerned about her father's ability to navigate the airport alone and deal with all of the rigmarole that comes with international travel. But LATAM, the airline that would be
I
flying
almost
him
dropped
home,
it.
assured her that Vernon would be assisted the entire way. He'd be helped off the plane after landing, placed in a wheelchair, guided through customs, to the baggage claim, and out to meet his family, who'd be waiting for him on the other side, all at no extra cost. And so, feeling reassured, Lily helped Vernon book his return flight to Chile. Vernon and Lily made it safely to Lima and celebrated her wedding anniversary with their Peru-based family members as planned. After that, they enjoyed a 2-week holiday. Then, on April 2nd, they returned to the airport, ready to catch their flight home. Vermon's flight was scheduled to leave 2 hours before Lily's, so he'd be stepping through the departure gates first. Lily knew that her father would be getting all the assistance he needed from the airline, but just to be safe, she also made sure that he was wearing a credential sheet with his name, address, and her phone number on it. And with that attached to his person, Vernon hugged his daughter one last time and stepped through the departure gates. Back at Arturo Merino Benitez International Airport in Chile, several of Vermon's other family members were waiting at arrival gate 4, ready to greet him and help him back home. His plane was scheduled to land at around 5:30 p.m., but an hour passed, and the old man still hadn't appeared. Vernon didn't own a mobile phone, and so at first, his family assumed that he was simply delayed, and so they waited and
Why
waited.
doesn't he have a phone?
After a while, their impatience turned to confusion, which then turned to panic. His family approached airport staff, who were less than helpful. They wouldn't confirm whether Vermon's flight had actually landed, wouldn't allow them into the baggage claim area to look for him, wouldn't entertain the possibility of making an announcement, and repeatedly told the family members to wait patiently. Unsure of what else to do, they contacted Lily, who was still in Peru, waiting to board her own flight. She confirmed that Vernon had brought the plane home, that it had left on time, and that he should be there. She spent the next 4 hours in the air, not knowing whether her father was lost, injured, or worse. By the time she landed in Chile, nothing had changed. Vernon was still missing, and airport staff remained just as obstructive. Desperate, the family began their own search, splitting up across public areas of the terminal. One relative waited near the taxi pickup zone for so long that airport staff forcibly removed her for loitering. Eventually, the family began asking random people whether they were on Vermon's flight. That's when they found a distressed old woman sitting alone in a wheelchair. She told them that she had been traveling alone from Colombia, that she too had been promised assistance, but that she had been abandoned for hours by staff members. A security guard eventually told her, bluntly, that no one was coming to help her. "Ma'am," he reportedly said, "stand up and leave, because they're going to leave you sitting here for hours." They usually do this. They leave people here and never come back. The implication was chilling. Had Furman also been left to fend for himself? After being repeatedly pressed for details, airport staff finally admitted the truth. Furman's flight had landed on time. They told a story about how there had been some issue with his baggage, how he had grown impatient, stood up from his wheelchair, and walked away of his own accord. It's unclear whether that was true or not, as the employee assisting Furman has never been identified. However, CCTV footage, which was later obtained, showed Furman wandering through the terminal alone without his luggage, pausing, turning around, scanning faces. At one point, he walked towards the taxi rank outside. There, an official driver offered him a lift, but Furman politely turned him down. Minutes later, he could be seen approaching a man in a neon jacket, likely an airport or transit worker, who pointed him in a direction. Furman walked off the way he pointed. That employee has never come forward or been identified, so we don't know what Furman asked or where he was trying to go.
Damn.
Cameras then captured him, lining up at a bus stop. After waiting for a while, he stepped out of the line and continued walking. The direction he walked led to Route 68, a major highway connecting Santiago to Valparaiso. After seeing that footage, Furman's family filed a missing persons report, one which wasn't validated by the authorities for 5 long days. During that time, Furman's family searched for him alone. They printed flyers,
That's
knocked on
crazy.
doors, searched the area around the airport,
That's
checked
crazy.
hospitals, checked morgues, but no sign of their loved one turned up. The police showed little urgency and told Furman's family to return only if they had proof that he was in danger. LATAM Airlines denied
Man's
responsibility.
literally missing. They
Yeah,
haven't
it's an
seen him in
responsibility.
ages.
Each claimed that their duties ended once Furman walked off. As for his family, they refused to accept that a person could so casually disappear off the face of the earth like that. Had he fallen down a manhole? Wandered into the mountains? Been picked up by a driver with evil intentions? All the worst possibilities swirled in their minds. In the days that followed, sightings of Furman were reported near metro stations, construction sites, and along Route 68. A security guard recalled an elderly man matching his description, saying that he was heading to Mapocho. Following that vague lead, his family expanded their search, and, in doing so, discovered multiple other confused elderly people living rough on the streets. Unbelievably, many of them had simply been abandoned in the middle of nowhere by illegal taxi drivers. They'd been picked up at the airport, and when it became clear they didn't have enough money to cover their fare, were dumped on the side of the road. Unfortunately, such cases are far from unheard of. An elderly person gets left to fend for themselves, and, unable to get home or contact loved ones, winds up living homeless, or worse, is intercepted by a criminal gang and forced to beg to line their pockets. Furman's family now strongly believe that the same fate befell him,
Damn.
that he was picked up by a dodgy taxi and was abandoned somewhere far from home, far from civilization, and that nobody helped him. He had only 9,000 pesos in his pocket at the time of his vanishing, around $15 US at the time, far from enough to cover his fare home. Terribly, Furman was never seen or heard from again.
That's crazy.
Whether he became another disoriented homeless person or perished somewhere remote, his fate was entirely preventable had just one person done their job correctly. No staff members were ever charged with negligence in relation to Furman's disappearance. Some probably never gave him a second thought from that day on. And if this case teaches us anything, it's that sometimes it's not people's malice we should be fearful of. It's their indifference.
See, me personally, if I had an elderly family member traveling where there's already going to be like a language difference, and for whatever reason they don't have any sort of form of communication with everybody else, like with the rest of the family, aside from like a house phone. Like if they're out of the house, you just have no idea where the fuck they are. They should not be by themselves. Like somebody should have been with that man. Like he shouldn't have been by himself. If it isn't something that he does normally, frequently, he shouldn't have been flying by himself. He can't communicate. So how's he supposed to ask for help? Just sticking a card on him with your contact information is not going to do anything. If the employees don't give a shit to even deliver on the promise of what they told you that they were going to help your dad, you don't have anything to worry about. You never received a phone call. You never heard from your dad when he got home to confirm, hey, you know, I made it back. You know, how's your flight? Blah, blah, blah. You didn't hear nothing. He didn't give you a ring when he touched down. Nothing. Not a single employee was like, hey, do you want to just contact your family real quick since you just got off your flight? Let them know that you made it here okay, blah, blah, blah. Like, nothing like that happened. If he were with another person, it would have been very different. He wouldn't have needed these accommodations because he would have had someone there who would have been able to help him. And to just blindly believe people you don't know, employees of a business, especially a fucking airline, as crazy as these things can be, as chaotic as they can be, like 98% of the time, I wouldn't leave it up to chance. Everybody's got to have a buddy if flying and navigating airports is not something that you're used to. If it's something that's new to you, you gotta have somebody with you that knows what the fuck they're doing, that knows how to navigate these places, or at the very least can communicate so they can ask questions. I'm not saying that the airline is not at fault for what happened to him, but the family shares a teeny weeny bit of the blame also. So wherever he lives, there's no other family that lives in the same area he lives in. Not even the same like portion of the city, but just like that portion of the world that went to this wedding. There wasn't anybody. Nobody at all. Not even an aunt or a distant cousin or anything. Like nobody. Like this particular little morsel of the world, the only person you know is your dad there. Right? Have somebody travel with him anyway. Even if it's only for a day. Just to make sure that he gets back safely and whatnot. You know, get him home, stay at his house. And then once you know he's settled and he's good, you can take another flight and go home. Or hell, if you have a layover or you have a couple hours between when your flight is supposed to leave, once the flight he needs to get home has already landed, and it's like, say it's an in-between stop for them or something, get him home and then go. Because now this man is lost and no one has any kind of idea where he could be, whether he's dead or alive. And there's just no way to know. And he could be anywhere. And I would think that if he was like being confused in the airport, sure. But depending on how well traveled he is, if it's a place where he lives, if it's a place that he's just been in for a really long time, outside of the airport, I'm pretty sure he would have been able to find somebody that could have helped him. Like local corner store, gas station, something. Somebody that he would properly be able to communicate with, that could have called his daughter, and daughter could have been like, hey, I'm going to call Aunt Sophie. Stay where you are. Do you know where you're at? what's the name of the place, blah blah blah, or pass the phone to the person that lets you use their phone so they can tell me where you are. We're gonna have somebody come pick you up. Don't go nowhere. Like, that's so scary. That's that's crazy.
Furman's family continue to cling on to the hope
That's
that he's still
crazy.
out there somewhere. A prospect that feels more and more with each passing day.
Mm.
If you live in Santiago or nearby, please keep an eye out for this man. I'd like to end this segment by shouting out Lilai Saib. She covered this case while in contact with Fermin's family, and her coverage was a really helpful source of information. Spanish speakers, go check her channel out. Also, a shout out to Moondog151 over on Reddit, whose English language write-up of this otherwise region-locked case inspired me to look into the mystery in the first place.
That's crazy. Mm-mm-mm.
The morning of May 26, 1990, was a conventional one in Florida's unconventional Aero Club, an
I'm getting
exclusive
full
neighborhood
already.
built around a private airstrip where residents could taxi their personal aircraft straight into hangars attached to their backyards. Some residents were preparing to jet off for their long weekend, but inside one house, 40-year-old Marlene Warren was taking things slower and instead enjoying a long breakfast. Her husband Michael was out of town, but her 21-year-old son Joseph was there to keep her company, as were a few of his friends. Joe had recently broken his leg, and they'd all stopped by to help lift his spirits. The group sat around the kitchen table, chatting over coffee and eggs, when, at 10:51 a.m., the doorbell unexpectedly rang. Marlene walked to the front door, expecting to greet a delivery driver or a neighbor. When she opened it, however, she was met by something unusual. Standing on her doorstep was a clown. Aside from their practical black shoes, the figure was fully costumed. They wore bright makeup, a red nose, an orange, afro-like wig, a ridiculous multicolored costume, and bright white gloves. In one hand, the clown carried a basket of red and white carnations. In the other, 2 balloons. One of them decorated with a scene from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and the other printed with a simple message: "You're the greatest." The clown handed the balloons to Marlene. And for a moment, they must have seemed whimsical. Perhaps someone had sent her son a clownogram to lift his spirits. Marlene reportedly smiled. "How pretty," she said. Those were the last words to leave her lips. In that moment, the clown produced a gun, raised it, and shot Marlene in the mouth at point-blank range. The clown then turned and walked calmly to a white Chrysler LeBaron convertible parked just outside the house. Joe, who had witnessed the incident unfold from a window in the living room, rushed to his mother's side. Neither he nor any of his 3 friends managed to catch the killer's license plate. Joe tried to pursue the vehicle, but couldn't catch up in time. Marlene was rushed to hospital, but her injuries were catastrophic. 2 days later, life support was withdrawn.
She was shot in the mouth at point blank range. I'm surprised that they were even able to keep her on life support for more than a day. Like, to be shot in the... That's... Wow. Just thinking about everything that's in your mouth and everything that's beyond your mouth, like your throat and everything that runs up and down the back of your throat, the back of your neck, and what that shit's connected to, depending on where that bullet went, that's like cutting a power cord. So that's what I'm like, 2 days in the hospital on life support. They must have really had some good people working on that. It's unfortunate that she didn't survive it still, but to keep her alive for even longer than like the past couple of hours after that shit happened, I could not fucking imagine. Because I would think that depending on which way it went, it could have gone off to the side. Like it could have come out this way or the other way, or maybe just ever so slightly like off kilter to where it didn't hit any of like the vessels and the shit that run in the back of the neck that connects to the heart and the brain. I'm guessing that the bullet missed those things. It might have hit. It might have ran into some bone. It might have stopped at the bone. I don't know. That's wow. Oh my goodness.
Her son Joseph sat by her bed, begging her to stay with him, promising her that justice
Damn.
would come. And then she quietly slipped away. In an effort to help find her killer, Joseph gave a description of the clown to the police, but since the whole incident unfolded within less than a minute, he could only give vague details. And they stood around 6'1", maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. They walked with the bravado of a man, but had the slender figure of a woman, so he couldn't even be sure about their sex. But Joe told investigators there was one thing that was burned into his mind. Before getting into their vehicle and driving away, the clown briefly turned and stared at him, and behind all of the props and makeup were a pair of dark brown, soulless eyes. That was the one thing he was certain of. The white LeBaron was later found abandoned roughly 8 miles from the Warren home in a Winn-Dixie Park inlet. The cops traced it back to a car rental company called Payless, who had reported it stolen shortly before Marlene's murder. And so, detectives examined the inside of the vehicle. On the driver's headrest, they recovered orange synthetic fibers consistent with a clown wig, along with strands of dark brown hair. They later traced the balloons and flowers to a local supermarket, and employees remembered who had bought them. A woman with chocolate-colored hair and brown eyes who had paid in cash. A nearby costume shop also reported that a woman with dark brown hair and dark eyes had purchased a clown outfit just days earlier. As the physical evidence mounted,
Premeditated as
detectives turned their
hell.
attention inward, towards Marlene's husband and Joe's stepdad, Michael Warren. Michael ran a used car and rental business called the Bargain Auto Rentals, but much of the couple's property, valued in excess of $1 million, was actually held in Marlene's name. If she were to die first, he would inherit everything. Michael certainly had plenty of motivation to kill his wife, that's for sure, and their relationship must have been fraught, as Marlene herself had confided in her children. If anything happens to me, Mike did it. Joe believed that Michael wasn't capable of violence, to which Marlene replied, "Don't put it past him."
Wow, and you
The police certainly
knew?
weren't putting it past him. A con man at heart, Michael regularly took out ads in local papers, with his company name in quotations at the top, and "Pay Less" in big bold letters beneath it. As a result, Payless customers regularly assumed that the two businesses were one and the same, and would end up returning their rental cars to Michael, who would then keep them and rent or sell them. Seeing how the killer clown had driven a stolen Payless vehicle, it stood to reason that Mr. Warren was involved. Thing is, Michael had an alibi. At the time of the shooting, he was traveling toward Miami with friends who could all vouch for him. Though he would later be convicted of racketeering, grand theft, and odometer tampering connected to his business dealings, the authorities couldn't place him at the scene of the crime that morning. But not being there doesn't mean he wasn't involved. Just a year before the
You
incident,
could have recruited
he'd asked
whoever
a
it
lawyer,
was.
quote, if a husband were to kill his wife, what would happen to her estate? Assuming it to be nothing more than a hypothetical question, the lawyer replied, if he's convicted of murdering his wife, he wouldn't inherit. But if he were convicted of a lower charge, he would. Not only that, but if he had a friend do it, and they couldn't tie him as an accessory, he'd get away scot-free. And
Why would you tell him
attention
that?
shifted to someone else. One of Michael Warren's employees. A then 27-year-old woman named Sheila King.
Wow.
She was described as a bubbly and gutsy woman.
He probably promised her a portion of whatever he was thinking that he was gonna inherit. And she's like, oh, well, okay, fine, I'll do it. Like, how are people just okay doing these things? Like, where is your conscience at? Like, you just down to take somebody out the game because somebody promised you some money? And you already work for the person? And then it's their romantic partner at that. And the woman has children. The woman has kids, bro. Like, I don't know.
We've been repossessing Carsfair's business for the past 5 months or so. She was fairly tall, slender and pleasant looking, but her most defining features were undeniably her dark brown eyes. Sheila didn't have any personal connection to Marlene. There's no indication that they had met or even spoken. But unbeknownst to Marlene, the two of them were actually embroiled in a romantic rivalry. According to reports, Michael and Sheila were seeing each other behind Marlene's back.
I thought of that too.
When questioned by
I was like, what would be her actual motivation to say yes to this? Aside from him promising her money, I would think that they had a closer relationship. Like, they had to be fucking. Because there's no way that you're gonna let your boss at your job promise you X amount of dollars if you kill his wife. Now, if y'all are fucking, and he's like, hey, my wife has all these properties, and you know, they pretty loaded, they pretty thick with the money on, okay? But you know, they're not in my name. But if you know, she might you know, it would all go to me because the kids are too young, they can't inherit it. And I know that she has everything signed over to me for the will and this, that, and the third. Like, I'm her next of kin because I'm her husband. But I'd split it with you, though. Like, and you're just cool with that? You okie dokie smoky with that. I could never. The anonymous tip line would be ringing off the hook. Off the hook. Absolutely not. I don't care if, you know, I was involved with somebody. As soon as I find out that they're in a relationship, I'm out of there because I'm not trying to be with somebody who said that they're with somebody else. And I'm just supposed to be cool with that. I don't share. Even like little sprinkles here and there, like, oh, we're not actually dating. You know, it's just a fling type of setup and this and that. That's cool and all, but like, I just don't do that. Like, if you're gonna be here, be here. But if you're gonna try and be here, here, and here, nah. You gotta stay in one place. Can't be bouncing all over the place and whatnot. You gotta figure something out. I hope she got twice as much jail time as he did. And I hope he got the maximum sentence because it was premeditated. He practically hired someone to kill his fucking wife. It worked. And he had it planned to where he would be out of town to where they couldn't really pin it on him. Oh, well, he's not the one that pulled the trigger. He wasn't in town. We have all this evidence that shows that he wasn't even in the county at the time of the murder and this and the third. That doesn't mean the nigga didn't do it. He probably been planning that shit down to the T for months prior to. And he's like, all right, well, I'm supposed to be going to Miami with the boys, I think now would be the best time to do it. And she's cool with being the fall guy. With being the scapegoat. Absolutely not.
Investigators following the murder. Sheila denied the affair, but two of her neighbors said that they saw her and Michael together so frequently that they assumed the two were married. Despite playing dumb, in 2002, 12 years after Marlene's death, Sheila did tie the knot with Michael and became Mrs. Keene Warren. Whether she was involved or not, many found it suspicious that Michael married the prime suspect in his first wife's murder.
Because she fucking did it.
Sheila underwent something of a metamorphosis. She dyed her hair blonde and began introducing herself as Debbie, as if she were trying to adopt a new identity. She and Michael opened a burger restaurant called the Purple Cow, where employees described Mrs. Keene Warren as an aggressive and mean boss. They had all heard the rumors, of course, that she had killed her husband's former wife, but all of them thought it was nothing more than a weird joke. A joke which Sheila, or Debbie as they knew her, played into. She enjoyed it so much, in fact, that one Halloween, she turned up to work dressed as a clown, shown here in this photo. Her employees noted it was one of the few times they had seen her genuinely smile. But could the new Mrs. Keene Warren have wanted to marry Marlene's husband so much that she would kill for the privilege, even if that meant killing an otherwise innocent stranger? Well, if the clown shoe fits. Fibers consistent with those found in the getaway car were later recovered in Sheila's home. Hair samples recovered from that vehicle were also microscopically consistent with hers. But though police were certain that they had found the gunwoman, in the early 1990s, their case against Sheila rested largely on circumstantial evidence. Unfortunately, DNA technology was nowhere near as advanced as it is today. That, paired with other difficulties, such as Sheila not being 6'1" as Joe had described, and the clown outfit never being recovered, meant that the case stalled. For years, the story of a clown gunning down a woman on her porch spread. Then, before the internet took off, many assumed it to be nothing more than an urban legend, one which played on people's coulrophobia. But in reality, it was one of Florida's most unsettling unsolved crimes, and every day that passed without any new developments was a day that Marlene's son, Joe, suffered. He began drinking and using substances to cope with his grief. Thankfully, Joe would eventually face down his demons and clean himself up, and, decades after the loss of his mother, was offered a glimmer of hope that the killer clown would be unmasked. In 2014, the Palm Beach County Cold Case Unit reopened the investigation into Marlene's slaying. Advances in forensic science allowed evidence once considered inconclusive to be re-examined. In time, they were able to prove that the hairs found in the abandoned LeBaron did in fact belong to Sheila Keene Warren. 3 years later, in September 2017,
It's crazy that they take forever to
she was charged with first-degree murder.
go through evidence when it comes to murders
She
and
pleaded guilty
not
to
like.
second-degree murder as part of a plea agreement after prosecutors withdrew the pursuit of the death penalty. She was sentenced to 12 years in prison.
Withdrew the death
In
penalty.
November 2024, she walked free after serving just 18 months, having received credit for time spent in custody and for good behavior.
She murdered that woman
Herself as Bozo, that people
in cold blood
have had something to do
on
with
her
the
porch,
assassination with circus clowns.
and she got out of jail on good behavior, and they denied the death penalty.
She decorated her home with clown figures and statuettes. She was seemingly obsessed with them, symbolically
And had her house decorated with clown paraphernalia.
as a way to disarm Molly, to bring down her god. Or, more maliciously, it may have just been her way of humiliating her.
Nah,
A way for her to punish her love rival, ensuring that she was killed by something that brought her joy.
that's
As
crazy.
for Michael Warren, he was never charged in connection with his ex-wife's murder, as it was never proved conclusively that he and Sheila planned it together.
That poor woman. Oh my god. Wow. That's foul. That's foul. That's just foul. Oh my god. Absolutely foul.
But one has to wonder how Sheila knew about Marlene's love of clowns. Given that she and Marlene had apparently never met, someone must have given her the idea.
Hello, Seb.
Despite Marlene's
Welcome to the Scream.
To me, in this case, still feels far from resolved.
Just watched some TV. Going through, let me see. 4 disturbing cases that'll destroy your faith in humanity, if you still have any. These fucking suck. These are sad as fuck. So sad. Oh my god.
On the afternoon of May 31st, 1985, 17-year-old Sharon Pace Smith was driving home from a pool party in Lexington County, South Carolina. The soon-to-be graduate was known to friends and family simply as Sharon. According to them, she was quiet, thoughtful, and dependable. The kind of teenager who followed routines and rarely drew attention to herself. When she pulled into the long driveway of her family's home on Lake Murray Boulevard at 3:38 p.m., nothing seemed out of place. Her father, Bob, looked out of the window and saw Sharon parked up beside the mailbox at the end of the drive. Turning away, he expected her to walk through the door any second. A few minutes passed, and confused as to why Sharon hadn't come inside, Bob walked out to the driveway. And though his daughter's car was still there, with its driver's side door open and its engine running, Sharon herself was nowhere to be seen. Letters were scattered around the ground surrounding the mailbox. Still inside the car were all of Sharon's personal belongings, including her diabetes medicine, which she needed to take throughout the day. She would never willingly walk off without that medication. With no sign of their daughter anywhere, and no way to contact her, Bob and his wife Hilda contacted the police and reported Sharon missing. 2 days later, the phone rang. The male voice on the other end of the line was calm, measured, but clearly distorted. Calling from a payphone, the figure told Sherry's family that the teenager had been kidnapped, but that she was still alive and watching TV. He also told them to expect a letter in the mail. And then he hung up. That letter, which was intercepted early by the Lexington County Sheriff's Department, didn't contain any ransom demands or any taunting message from Sharon's captor. It hadn't even been written by him at all. It had been written by Sharon herself, and chillingly, it was titled Last Will and Testament. The letter was examined by professionals who confirmed that it had been written in Sharon's handwriting. Her captor, now presumed killer, had forced her to write it, but the words were from the heart, and clearly Sharon's own. It contained expressions of love, final wishes, and a request for a closed casket funeral.
Wow.
Do you believe me now? Well, I'm not really sure I believe you because I haven't had any word from Sherry. And I need to know that Sherry is well. You'll know in 2 or 3 days. Why 2 or 3 days? Call the church off.
Over the next several days,
I mean, if you were gonna kill her anyway, what would it matter if they called the search off or not?
And sometimes for longer. He usually spoke in the present tense, hinting that Sherry may still be alive. During one of those phone calls, the man read from Sharon's will. In another, he worryingly stated that Sharon was part of him.
3:10 a.m. Saturday, the 1st of June. She hand wrote what you received. 4:58 a.m. Saturday, the 1st of June. Okay, Saturday, the 1st of June, 4:58 a.m. Became one soul. Became one soul. What does that mean? No questions now. Please, tell Sheriff Metz, search no more, blessings or near. Do not kill my daughter, please. I mean, please. Love and miss y'all. Get good rest tonight. Goodbye.
Whoever the sicker was, he clearly took pleasure in tormenting his victim's family and feeding off their anguish, while also pretending, or perhaps genuinely believing, that he had godlike powers. And then, 6 days after
People are
taking Sharon,
fucking freaks, bro.
once he'd had his fun, he called yet again and gave some very specific directions.
Hello?
Listen carefully. Take Highway 378 west. Hit traffic circle. Take Prosperity exit. Go 1.5 miles. Turn right at sign. Moose Lodge number 103. Go 1/4 mile. Turn left at white frame building. Go to backyard. 6 feet beyond. We're waiting. God chose us.
Those directions led to Sharon Smith's lifeless body, dumped in a wooded area near Saluda County. Her life had been ended approximately 12 hours after she had been taken. An exact COD couldn't be determined. Knowing how badly her killer craved attention, investigators made a tactical decision. They staged a public memorial for Shari, where mourners could leave gifts like flowers, letters, and stuffed toys, hoping that the killer wouldn't be able to resist claiming a memento after all of the other guests had departed. But frustratingly, he didn't take the bait. Even after the service, he denied Sharon's family the ability to grieve in peace. For weeks after her death, the man who killed her tormented them over the phone. He targeted her sister, Dawn in particular, relaying details about how Shari had died. He explained how he had let her choose her own manner of demise, how she had chosen suffocation, how he had wrapped duct tape all the way around her head so she couldn't breathe. He also began hinting that Dawn would be his next victim. His calls were relentless, bordering on obsessive. Given the physical similarities between the two sisters, many believed that the killer actually mistook Shari for Dawn, that she had been the intended target all along. And flustered, Dawn would always accept the killer's calls and keep him on the line, hoping that he'd slip up and reveal something that would shed light on his identity. And slip up he did. Not only did he stop disguising his voice, but during one particularly significant call, he broached the subject of Deborah May Helmick.
Have you heard about Deborah May Hamrick, the 10-year-old? ATLMIC?
Richmond County?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, listen carefully. Go 1 north, 1 west.
On June 14th, 1985, just 2 weeks after Sharon went missing, 9-year-old Deborah was kidnapped in nearby Richmond County while playing outside.
Bro, this man's a
The man in a silver car
psycho.
accelerated towards her, forced her inside his vehicle, and sped away with her in a matter of seconds, all while a desperate neighbor tried to stop him from getting away. 8 days after she was taken, the mystery caller contacted the Smith family again and told them where to find the child's body, confirming that the same man was responsible for both slayings. But though he undeniably made slip-ups while chatting with Dawn and the rest of the Smith family, what finally broke this case was a simple piece of paper, one we've already covered: Sharon's last will and testament. A forensic examiner was brought in to analyze the document. Using an electrostatic detection device, a tool designed to reveal impressions left behind when writing atop other sheets, they began scanning the surface of the paper and pressed faintly into the sheet were names and phone numbers, as if someone had written a list of contacts using the same pad of paper. One number in particular stood out. It was almost complete, missing just a single digit. Detectives worked through all of the possible variations one by one, until finally, someone answered. On the line was a young man. When asked whether he had any connection to South Carolina, he gave them the names of Ellis and Sharon Shepard, a couple who just so happened to live 15 miles from the Smith family home. When questioned, the Shepards explained that they'd been away on holiday at the time of Shari's disappearance, but when detectives played them the undistorted voice from the phone calls, their reaction was immediate. Both identified the voice as belonging to the man who had been house-sitting for them while they were away: Larry Gene Bell, a 35-year-old local man with a history of offenses, including indecent exposure and harassment. According to the Shepards, when they returned from their holiday, Belle seemed unusually agitated, fixated on Sherry's disappearance, and eager to talk about little else. Ella Shepherd also confirmed that the list of phone numbers uncovered by forensic examiners had been left for Belle in case of emergencies. With that, everything shifted. Phone records confirmed that several of the calls made to the Smith family after Sherry's disappearance had originated from the Shepherd's home. Inside the residence, police recovered several items of concern, including strands of blonde hair. Investigators began to piece together a disturbing possibility that Belle had used the Shepherd's home as a torture ground, a place he believed would never be examined. On June 27, 1985, 28 days after Sherry Smith vanished from her driveway, Larry Gene Belle was arrested. His trial began in February 1986. Throughout, Belle shouted bizarre statements, made cryptic remarks, and appeared determined to convince the jury that he was unhinged. But the act failed. After less than an hour of deliberation, the jury found him guilty of the kidnapping and first-degree murder of Sharon Smith. A year later, he was convicted yet again, this time for the slaying of Deborah May Helmick. On October 4, 1996, after 10 years on death row, Larry Belle was sent to the electric chair. He offered no final words. In February 2025, Belle was formally identified as the killer of a 26-year-old woman named Sandy Elaine Cornett, who vanished in 1984. He also remains the prime suspect in the disappearance of at least one other woman, Denise Newsom Porch. Neither of their bodies have ever been found.
Bro.
Hi guys, Lazy here, and thank you very much for listening.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's been a while, hasn't it? So although it's a bit late, I hope you all had a great Christmas, a great New Year. And
Yeah,
yes, I
I'm
intend to get back
going
into the
through
flow
my
of things
watch
now.
list.
I'll be back again soon with the annual compilation, as well as
Yeah.
another video.
I'm pretty
But
sure you
for
could
now,
probably
I'd like to
barely hear it. But for context and things like that, this is a video on my watch list from the creator, the YouTuber, Lazy Masquerade, and the name of the video is 4 Disturbing Cases That'll Destroy Your Faith in Humanity If You Still Have Any. And this video's from 2 months ago. Because my watch list is a backlog like crazy. But yeah. That's cray. That's cray. Where is my controller? I want to say the night market should be open now. So. Oh, it's bright. My eyes. Okay, there we go. Oops.
Yo. I could go for some fruit right about now.
Honestly, same. Fruit sounds kind of good. How about a mango?
This looks good as fuck.
I don't know if I'm actually that hype about mangoes in real life. They probably taste good, but I don't have them frequently enough to really be like, oh yeah, I love mangoes. Like, I don't actually know. I'm surprised they don't have a slow eater, honestly.
I speak with a loud voice. I speak with a radiant voice. I speak with a creepy voice.
I don't think I blink a lot.
I feel like I'm getting closer to who I truly am. What kind of superpower would you want, Supremo Thick Queeno?
I don't know. If I had a superpower, what would it be? Hmm. If I really, really had to think about it. Mm, I'd probably do teleportation.
Oh, you're a genius. If you could teleport, then you could sleep in until the last minute. Supremo Thick Queeno. Knowing you're here always puts my mind at ease.
Well, y'all watch her for a little bit. I'll be right back. Need to close my window. Let me know if something funny happens.
I feel like Supremo Thick Queeno is watching me. Why does AC base look like some caviar? Devil, Chester, Gambit. Salami. Bradley Smith. Well, okay, well, I'll do that. Yes, hello. Wednesday, you want to? Santa Joa. Oh. Florence Nicole. Dabble. Island Puff. Right. Julia Collins. Yeah. Rabbit Snap Aldo. Torpy. Yeah. Coffee on the Burberry. Hey. Sabbath Rackle. Yolanda. Dabble. Dallas Rapper. And Bradley Smith. They kept falling. Well. Blondie Yeah. Rabbit Snap Aldo. Island Puff. Right. Well, Chip Chap. Sabbath. Single check command. Dabble. Winter. Sniffer. Island Puff. Right. Yolanda. Yolanda. Dorothy. Yeah. Rabbit Snap Aldo. Tasha. Sandy. Baby Pomegranate. Baby Pomegranate. Dorothy. Dorothy. Yeah. Tasha. Sandy. Something North View. From Lock. Dabble. Coffee on the Burberry. Santa Single check command. Dallas Rapper. Samsung. Yolanda. Smooth. Me. Sabbath Rackle. Chip Chap. Sabbath. Island Puff. Right. Coffee on the Burberry. Winter. Sniffer. Santa Dorothy. Something North View.
Okay, I'm back. Anything fun happened while I was gone? What does everybody want? Jeez.
Is it just me, or does PP Fin remind you of some enchiladas? Yeah. I think I can see that. I don't know about that. Just between us, I don't think anyone loves a piece of chicken as much as I do. That's the first reasonable thing you've said. Ever. I don't think I've ever heard you talk about anything other than a piece of chicken, so I buy it. I've been practicing telekinesis, and I think I'm starting to get better at it. I haven't made much progress in that lately. I've been getting pretty okay at pyrokinesis. I just can't compete with AC Base. Ace does keep it real. No doubt about that.
What?
Yeah, Ace really has it down to an art.
Bro.
Coffee on the Burberry. Carefully. Me. Sabbath Rackle. Salami. Spooky is like a whole vibe, right? Oh, for sure? Such a vibe? A vibe is one way to put it.
What do you mean, Chrissy?
This can't leave this group, but Sage is basically a crafty, right?
Yeah.
No way? I wouldn't say that at all.
What do you mean?
Actually, I'd say they're more of a hard worker, and that can't leave this group.
Daw.
Am I the only one who's curious about whether Takeshita is good at blowing bubbles? No, I've been wondering about that for the longest time.
I think it's on everyone's minds. Now that I think about it, Ace has been talking about huge goblin knockers nonstop lately.
It's bordering on obsession. Yeah, Ace just loves talking about huge goblin knockers.
That's hilarious. Oh man.
Good evening.
What's wrong, Pookie?
Seiji doesn't have enough greenery. Can we get some more plants around here?
Depends. What are you thinking about? I could maybe get down with that, but how much you asking for?
It will cost
Oh,
$50.
only 50?
Do-
Sure. Why not?
Oh yeah, I'm on it. Let's get going. All done. Take a look whenever. Thanks to Tata, JT and I became friends. Who knew JT likes a Bobby Earl just as much as I do?
Huh. Good evening. I want to try living with Nellie. If I lived with Nellie, we'd be spending a lot of time together. What's something you think we'd enjoy doing every day if Nellie and I lived together?
Hmm.
I think you're right. I'll go talk to her. Can I have a word?
What's up, Mala?
Well, if the two of us lived together, what's something you think we'd enjoy doing every day? Let's say it together. On three. 1, 2, 3. Baking.
Blowing a soft boy's back out.
Dang. I was like, surely this will
Turns
be
out
it.
we're not on the same page.
Dang.
I don't think living together is a good idea.
Aw.
Life sure is interesting. You never know what's around the corner.
Very true. I don't know what that was about. I think I got stuck.
I thought it'd be fun to live with Nellie, but maybe now isn't the right time.
True. Might just be too early.
Yeah.
Then Clutchy, what novel plum beer will bring? Single jab at the Reynolds.
John the Rabbit, baby, step two, well. Then Clutchy, what novel Clutchy turtle brings? Don't touch him in your box. You're a civil to now that is yeah.
I'm trying to think of who my dad knows. Where's Bear? Bear, come here. I need you to help my dad real quick.
What's up with you?
This is just Hick my life. Hick now.
Oof, I've never seen a case this bad before.
I'm gonna be okay though. Right. You're the best.
I don't mind one bit.
What's the matter? Well, I'm on the map.
Takeshi, why?
Huh?
You could have said hi.
Hey, Overlord Airy. How's it going? I got Purple and Darling to meet, and they became friends. They both geeked out about a Bobby Earl. Glad they get each other.
Hey there.
Good old evening to you, pal.
Bless you. Chrissy is so cute.
Good evening, Sage. Yo, Lala.
Oh my gosh. Why are we all just having pose offs now? What is happening? Chrissy, where are you going? Are you going home? I think she's going home. Yeah, she is. Deco
This
fan,
is
what
the
are you
best.
what are you doing? Yeah, you're being sus right now.
Whoa.
I've discovered a mystery scent.
This is the best.
Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Tay.
Okay. So you're Tay. I'm Brendan.
I think that the unlimited voice is friend. When the two broke at the register, again.
Yay, it worked.
The cat. Here we are.
What?
Nothing.
But why?
Welcome in. Step right up and try your luck. I knew you weren't gonna buy anything this time.
No, you didn't.
Welcome. Stop by again. Welcome in. Not gonna buy anything. Welcome in. Step right up and try your luck. Maybe that thing you've been wanting is waiting for you inside.
Maybe. But let's see. Alright. Wow. Ah. Okay.
Thanks a bunch. Be sure to stop by again tomorrow.
Oh no, Chrissy.
Oh, boss? I want to eat something you made yourself.
I got you.
Yum? Thank you. How do you like to sleep?
Standing in the corner.
Yes, sleeping on your side is comforting.
Mm.
Yuck. Kevin battle frenzy. Seafood.
How's it going, Nelly?
Oh, good evening. Ha 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 ha.
Sabo, Nelly, and have fun at you rugby. Oh, he trapped with the channel ribbon. Yim. Thanks for helping me and Nelly get closer. Huh. Yo, bring it in, Overlord Airy. Let's say you have to fight an alien. What would you use? Ha. Turn their own tech against them. I like the way you think.
Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Mala.
You're Mala? I'm Chili?
That's lonelier but on a further. Lonelier but technically, rather lonelier but more not. Whimper, whimper.
Hey, yo, good evening, Sage. Hello, Clever. And Plum. Hey, come on. Aw, thank goodness. Just a dream. Oh, what's up? You got that. This is a perfect warm-up. Nicely done. Time to test my skills. You got that. How about a game of what's missing? Come on, you've got this in the bag. Hey,
I'm gonna try.
here's your first picture. So what's missing from here? 3. What's missing is peach. Next up, your second picture. So what's missing from here? 3, 2, 1. What's missing is roasted chestnuts. And finally, the last picture. So what's missing from here? 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is
Ah.
gnocchi.
Oh wait, fuck. Ah.
Hey, you can't win them all. Good evening. I've been thinking too hard. My head feels all fuzzy inside. Help me clear my mind.
Did I get it? No.
Phew.
Oh yay.
I feel so much better now. If a time machine were invented, would you rather go to the past or the future?
Mm.
Do you want to fix something that happened?
Low key, yeah.
This is Me News for April 28, 2026. In entertainment news today, the top-rated talk show Yakin with Sage is set to return to the air after a 10-year hiatus. As fans of the show will surely remember, Sage is known for incisively cutting to the chase and getting guests to bare their souls before offering heaping helpings of advice. During its initial run, the show was notable for reaching a ratings share of 95%. It remains to be seen if as many folks will tune in to see this season's first guest, Brandon. Brandon appeared relieved after the taping, saying, "Wow, I told Sage things that I wouldn't even admit to myself. She's still got it." We asked residents for their reactions.
I've got to tell someone about this.
I know a thing or two about that. Thanks for watching. I'm Caleb, and this has been the 8 o'clock news. I'm just a little miffed. I'm feeling all over the place right now. Sorry, I'm a little upset with Deco Finn. Why did she have to say that?
No. Why?
Whoa. What?
You're not allowed to be upset. It's not allowed. Fix it.
Loaded French fries? What Narble Planet Turtle Breed? Single jab extra? Remo? Yeah, but Planet Gem overspread and Violet that logo class. Shall keep Grandma Simpson will grow.
I got what I needed from the night market. So, I did say it was gonna be a shorter stream, so yeah. And I do want to try and go to bed a little early today, so I think I'm probably gonna go ahead and call it. So, if you have not already, feel free to hit the description of this video so that way you can join us in the Discord, where you can participate in polls, chat with peeps, share memes, and have an all-around good old time. Also, feel free to share the screen with someone who either knows absolutely nothing about Tomodachi life, living the dream, and or if they just need some background noise. And also, on your way out, don't forget to leave your likes at the down. And thank y'all for being here. Gers included. Yeah. I'm gonna see y'all on Thursday. Okay? Okay, bye.